In 600 feet, take exit 28B for Maryland 650 South, New Hampshire Avenue toward Tacoma Park. Take exit 28B, then merge onto Maryland 650 South. Use the left two lanes to turn left onto Magnified Road.
I am here at last at the University of Maryland. This is my first time here. It's been the ride-up was all right. It's been nice, sunny, warm, which I'm glad for, because not too long ago, a few days ago, it was wet, and so I was hoping today, given that I would need to drive up here, that the weather would be, well, as nice as it is. So I just got on campus. The event that I'm attending is in about half an hour, well, less than that, and so I need to find a place to park. Where I am right now apparently is permit parking only. I do not have a permit, this being my first time here at the University of Maryland. So greetings, good people. Hola mi gente. What brings me here? There is a discussion today about Arturo Schomburg. And Arturo Schomburg happens to be my great grandfather. So he is my mother's grandfather. He was born in Puerto Rico. His father was German. His mother was from the U.S. Virgin Islands. And as a teenager, he moved from Puerto Rico to New York City. And he became a well-known bibliophile. In fact, right now there is a branch of the New York Public Library that is named after him. It is the Schomburg Institute for Research in Black Culture. And I was made aware that today there would be a discussion about his life and about his work. So I said I would drive on down and attend this. So that's what I'm here for, really excited about it. I'm proud. I, of course, never met my great-grandfather, but proud of the legacy that he has. So I will look for parking and then try and get myself situated and in place in time for the discussion.
Okay, I think you can park in the Moat garage, the Moat Lane garage, which is behind that big building right there.
Okay.
At the bottom of the hill.
So if I go out here, I would turn
Make a
left? Okay.
And it's down at the bottom of the hill. You see a garage entrance.
Okay.
I'm 99% sure there's public parking in there.
Okay. It's called Mohawk.
Moat.
Oh, Moat. All right. All right.
That's Moat Lane.
Okay. Thank you.
Then
Yep.
there's also Union Garage, but the Union Garage is a lot harder to get to, and it's a lot harder to get back. I would stick with Moat.
Okay. I'll stick with that.
All right.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. I finally found a place to park. So I have pay station number 444. But, okay, looks like there were or are more options in there. But, hey, I've got this, so this will do for now. And I have about 15 minutes to get on time to where I'm heading. So let me figure out how to pay. But I must say, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful campus. For those who might have seen my earlier videos, the last time I did a campus visit, it was in the summer at Williams College and also at Harvard. And the campuses were pretty deserted because it was summer and most students were away. So this now is a large university, and the semester is on, so the place is beautiful. It's busy, lots of students, and incredible weather. So it's a great time just to see the campus if I get time to do that. Right now, the main thing is to pay and find my way. All right, let's see what we have. It says pay station, pay here. All right, pay station, pay here. All right, park, note space number. Mine was 444. Prepay at station, keep receipt. Okay. So let's see. 3 hours and $15 maximum daily rate. Wait, $3 per hour, $15 maximum, which is what, 5 hours. All right. Let me quickly figure out how this is done. There we go.
And then you take the card back.
Okay, so it's in and out with the card.
Yep. And then how much time do you want? So if you want an hour?
I'll do 3 hours to be on the safe side.
Okay. There's 2 hours. 3 hours.
Okay.
And then you good with that?
Yeah, that works. Rather pay a little more than too little.
Yeah, you don't want to get paid $70. It's terrible.
There you go. Right.
Days,
I'd rather pay
worse.
9 than 70, right?
And then you don't need to put that in your car, but
yeah.
you can if you want to be safe. So
Okay.
I think it automatically knows, like they have a system that tells them. But
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should be good.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah,
My name's Raiola.
Robbie, nice to meet you.
Robbie? Yeah, I'm in from New Jersey, so I came to attend a discussion in the library.
Oh yeah. You going to McAllen?
Yes.
It's a little bit of a walk.
That's
but
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I tried to park there, but there was nothing for visitors.
It's expensive place to park. I'll tell you that much.
All right.
Have a
Well,
good one.
thanks for your help.
Yeah, have a good discussion.
All righty. Thanks. It's always nice meeting helpful people. So thanks for Robbie's help. And now, just like he said, it's a hike to get back up to the McAllen Library. So let me see what time it is. Wow, it's 5 minutes to 2. So might be a little late, but it will be great. Hello, I'm looking for room 6137.
I have no idea.
There's a discussion about Arturo Schomburg. Okay, thank you. Thanks. We're in a library, so we need to whisper. Okay, I see it. Room 6137 with an arrow. Okay, here we are. And there are refreshments. Is this available? May I see
Yes,
it?
of course.
All right, thank you.
For Schomburg, knowledge meant unfettered access. So, in this spirit, we'd like to recognize our information professionals. If you are a librarian or an archivist or a student studying either, we invite you to stand up so that we can applaud the work that you do. And if you're joining us online, applaud yourself. So likewise, we'd like to acknowledge our co-sponsor, Dr. Nancy Morales, who leads the U.S. Latino-Latina Studies program here at the University of Maryland. We also thank Isabella Acalmiz and Eric Romala, who co-lead the Latin American and Caribbean Studies program, or center, I should say, LACS. And finally, we especially thank our friends here at the UMD Libraries, the crowd and the crew back there who helped us salute this technology, but also Dean Lim, Adrian Lim for her robust support, Lael for her encouragement, and Judith Kidd for planning.
I have the pleasure to introduce someone I truly admire and have been studying and looking at for a really long time. Dr. Venessa K. Valdés is the Associate Provost of Community Engagement at the City of College of New York. And as such, she engages with community leaders on issues and programs of mutual interest and benefit to the college and provides vision, direction, coordination, and leadership for contests of community partnerships and programs that orient from or administrated by the Provost Office. She is a former interim dean of McCullough Honors College at CUNY 2021-2022, and a former director of the Black Studies program, a graduate of Yale and Vanderbilt Universities, and a professor of Spanish and Portuguese. Her research interests focus on the cultural production of Black people throughout the Americas, the United States, and Latin America, including Brazil and the Caribbean.
I feel like there was a long lead up to it. So, woo, the expectations. I want to thank everyone in this room for being here, everyone who's online. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Ndumu. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you, Laed. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, all of the library professionals, the technology folks who are helping us, because obviously we needed assistance and support. So I am now charged with doing a 40-minute talk in about 20 minutes. So, you know, professional, let's get this going. Oops, next. There we go. Arturo Alfonso Schomburg is born in 1874. This means that his birthday on January 24th, 2024 will be the 150th anniversary of his birth. So please look out for events coming in a few months. He is born a year after the end of abolition of enslavement in Puerto Rico. This year, 2023, marks 150 years of the emancipation of slavery, or the abolition of slavery in Puerto Rico. He is born in San MateodeCangrejos, which is today known as Santurce, Puerto Rico. San MateodeCangrejos is the only municipality recognized as being founded by self-emancipated Blacks in Puerto Rico. These were folks who were coming from the surrounding islands, who the Spanish crown named this legalize this as a safe space. Often, these men and women, these human beings, were escaping enslavement from the other empires, and they were coming to Puerto Rico. So, really interesting. I'm going to do a little bit about him for those of you who may not know him. We're going to talk about his highlights. We're really going to focus on his writings. So the story is that as a child in Puerto Rico, Arturo Schomburg wanted to write the class was assigned an assignment of writing about history. And I say this, I put this in Spanish because many times people forget, or they don't know, or they don't recognize that he was born in Puerto Rico speaking Spanish, right? And so the idea of Afrolatinidad, this is a man who encapsulates, who embodies Afro-Latinx history, Afro-Latin American history, right? The term Afrolatinidad and Afro-Latinx is a recent one. The existence of black people speaking Spanish is not recent. This is centuries old, literally, centuries old. Manny just he spoke about my latest book, which is Juan de Pareja, Afro-Hispanic painter, which features in this presentation as well. That was a man who was born in the 17th century in Spain. Black man, white parent, white, black, these are floating signifiers at the time, right? But the notion of people speaking Spanish, that European language, Castellano, centuries old, right? Really important. So when he said that he wanted to write about history, this was the response he received. Los negros no tienen historia, right? Black people have no history. This was not a new concept in 19th century Puerto Rico. We can trace this to Heibel, right? That Africa has no history, right? And so this is very long. And for those who go, who would deny history? Let's look at the state of Florida right now and the legislation that is happening in this country right now. So that story, he told that story to friends of his, and so many people cite that moment as the beginning of his interest in the recollection of and the recovery of histories. He moves to New York City at 17 years old in 1891. 1891, we have Dr. Mirabal in the room. Dr. Mirabal has written a really important book about Cuban histories in New York City. In 1891, there is communities of Afro-Cubans and Afro-Puerto Ricans who are deeply organizing against Spain. These were colonies of Spain at the time. He immediately joins the fight for Puerto Rican and Cuban independence, joining the Partido Revolucionario Cubano under the Puerto Rican section, as well as Club Borinquen, which is a revolutionary club. Again, these are people who are mobilizing, organizing, raising funds to send, to get weapons, to support troops on the ground. And co-founded Las Dos Antillas in 1892, serving as its secretary. He, in the same years, initiated into the Prince Hall Masons in 1892, eventually rising to become the Grand Secretary of the Prince Hall Grand Lodge. Typo. I'm highlighting lots of things for those of you for whom things resonate. There's so much work to be done on Arturo Schomburg, right? So his life in the Masons and the role of Masonic traditions, that is also a space that really emphasized, particularly at the time, the importance of being an attribute to your race, right? And so that was also a space where these men, many of whom did not have formal education beyond primary school, perhaps secondary school, as Arturo Schomburg did it, they were educating each other, right? So there was collections of documents within those spaces as well. It's not just him as a child, right? It's also as a Mason. He co-founds the Negro Society for Historical Research in 1911. Again, another group that is dedicated to the recovery of histories and the dissemination of histories within each other. He serves as the president of the American Negro Academy, the first learned academy founded by and for African American men in DC. I'm very happy that Manny Mendez is working on that, so please talk to him if that intrigues you in any way. From 1920 until 1928. I will be speaking about one of the papers that he wrote in this presentation. In 1925, and he is writing constantly. His first publication is published in 1904. on the anniversary of the centennial of Haiti. The article is called Is Haiti Decadent? Prior to that, he was writing articles. He was writing letters to the editor of the New York Times. He was writing short pieces. He's writing constantly. And in almost all of his writing, particularly probably in like the 1910s onward, his articles really appear like bibliographies. He is always referencing history. He's always thinking about that person, this person, that person, this person. So I will show a link that when you go to the Schomburg Center, if you look up Arturo Schomburg's writings, it will put you to a page at the Schomburg Center, and there's a link, and his entire bibliography is there. So I invite you all, those of you who have never really thought about Arturo Schomburg as a writer and as a scholar, to please examine his writings. The Negro Digs Up His Past is the 3-page article for which he is most famous. And many people use that as really a rallying call. Here's that picture. I don't know why that came up at all. Wait, go back. I can't go back. Oh, yes. There we go. Okay. So here is how it appears in the crisis, right? These right here, these documents at the bottom of the page are documents that he put on exhibition at the New York Public Library on 42nd Street. He curated an exhibition of these histories. As 1931 to 32, he lives in Nashville. And he is working there. He is adding almost more than 4,500 books to a collection that only held 106 when he got there, right? So it is his library, right? At the time, it gained the reputation for holdings that were focusing on the, quote, Negro outside of America and prior to 1865. So again, he is not just, he's expanding the definition of blackness, right, to include not only those outside of the US, but also pre-Civil War, right? At a time when, even to this day, when we think about black art, when we think about black life, there's an insistence on the contemporary, right? The idea that everything is always recent arrivals, right? But to go back, like the strength of going back centuries, right, is one of the contributions that he makes. To say, no, we have been here, obviously, all of humanity started on the African continent, right? But in terms of Africans and Afro-descendants on all of these different spaces, we have been here for centuries. We have contributed to these societies for centuries. He serves as the curator of what is called the Schomburg Collection, right, his donations, within the Division of Negro Literature, History, and Prints from 1932 until his death in 1938. Here in Public Library, many folks know the Two Lions on 42nd Street. That is the main research library. The Schomburg Center is right behind that. It's on 135th and Malcolm X Boulevard. Here is the living legacy of Arturo Schomburg. Today, it holds 11 million items, books, prints, records, art, anything and everything that you want to know about the global black presence is in this building. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Many people say, well, what about blacks in Latin America? Yes. What about blacks in Iran? What anything that you want to do is in this building. So I encourage you, please, for the researchers in the room, they have fellowship opportunities. Please go to the Schomburg Center's website. Learn more about their programming. The Schomburg Center is open 6 days out of the week, 6 out of the 7 days. Manny mentioned the exhibition that is currently up. The gallery is open on Mondays, but Tuesdays through Saturday, the whole building is open. The divisions are open for research, but also they have cultural activities almost every single day. So please, I implore you to go look at the Schomburg Center. Social damage of slavery that the present generations must repair and offset. Vindicating evidences of individual achievement has, a matter of fact, been gathered and treasured for over a century. He's writing in 1925. This is the Harlem Renaissance. This is one of the documents that is really known and cited as a hallmark of the Harlem Renaissance. Racial Migrations, Dr. Jesse Hoffman-Garskoff's book, phenomenal. Here is the catalog of that exhibition. And that is it. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Anna Ndumu and I am an assistant professor at the University of Maryland. Where do I start? Mr. Schomburg represents excellence to me. Very careful, clean, intellectual work. It also is very impressive to me that Mr. Schomburg did not need endorsement, especially not white endorsement. He did not need endorsement from the library status quo, which denied him entry into library schools. He defined his own professional practice, and he defied professional practice in archival work, library work, and even museum work. By some standards, he was untrained, but he was a master at each of those. There's few people who converge in those areas and do it well. Over 100 years ago, it's significant that Mr. Arturo Schomburg gained expertise, largely self-taught, in librarianship, curatorship, and archival history work. So for me, that means that we need more convergence of these fields. There is power and also transformation that's possible when these three entities work together. And in an era of high division or extreme division and even radicalism, we need more spaces that generate public trust. So I think this moment is very ripe for reminding people what Black excellence means, but also what Latinidad can mean and the robustness of both. And Mr. Arturo Schomburg demonstrates so much. He was such a Renaissance and intersectional man. So I'm inspired. I am not a researcher of Dr., or I say Mr., but he really should be Doctor. Someone needs to give him a posthumous honorary doctorate. So I'm putting that out there. You heard it here first. But Mr. Arturo Schomburg really demonstrates to me what the life of the mind is, what an intellect is, and it doesn't mean academia, it doesn't mean the professorate, it just means lifelong learning. Some people say he was a tinkerer, but he was so much more than that. He was a committed, passionate lover of Blackness, and that is so important. So I am not a scholar in this area, I'm just a fan, and I'm fangirling. Peace.
Hi, greetings. My name is Manuel Mendez. I am a PhD student at the University of Maryland Information Studies Department.
And awesome, thank you. And it's been great meeting you here at this event.
Yeah, brother.
About Arturo Schomburg. What is your own, is he part of your research, or what is your own, maybe I could say, intellectual fascination about Arturo
the fixation is actually fixation.
Okay.
Arturo Schomburg is someone that is very important to me and folks who study information science because he is the first person who introduced us to, he's introduced us to Black studies and the importance of studying the African diaspora throughout the world. So my work deals with his early years in Washington, D.C. In the 1920s through 1928 when he was president of the American Negro Academy. And my interest in that is of an Afrolatino around Washington, D.C. When folks write about the mainstream Latinidad history in Washington, D.C., they usually start with the 1980s. And one of my biggest pet peeves is Black folks, Latino folks were around Washington, D.C. before the 1980s, and Arturo Schomburg is one of those folks that we look up to, and his information as an information professional, as a collector, as a bibliophile, is someone that is inspirational to me, knowing that I am on the path. I'm on the path to get the information studies degree, and it's just I see it as I'm doing what I'm getting opportunities and doing specific things that Arturo Schomburg didn't get the opportunity to do. So I am forever indebted to all his efforts. Arturo Schomburg, que ha sido una inspiración en los archivos y la biblioteca que él tiene en 135 Boulevard en Harlem, es un ícono de la historia afroamericana, diaspórica de las Américas. Y bueno, él es una inspiración para todos nosotros los negros o afrodescendientes de las Américas.
The discussion is over, and I can say I had an amazing time. It was well worth coming over here. It was great just hearing. I guess for me, somebody even asked me at the end, how do I feel attending an event where my family or my great-grandfather is the topic of discussion? And it's humbling. That's really what it is. It's very humbling. It was exciting. It just makes me more and more proud of my great-grandfather. He was not a man of great education, but he was a man of great impact. He didn't have great education in terms of formal education, but he had a vision. He had a mission, and that drove him. And that's why many, many years after he's gone, he has this amazing legacy. I am back in Bayonne. It's about 10:30 p.m. It's been a rewarding day. I want to once again thank very, very much my dear, good, amazing friend, Adrina, for having informed me about today's session. And so it was just, without her telling me, I would never have known. And it was just quite an amazing time, as I've already described. And then, after that, as I was preparing to leave the University of Maryland campus, as I mentioned earlier, Adrina gave me a call, so I was able to go over, hang out with her a bit, reconnect, which was nice. The first time us being together in 11 years. The last time I saw Adrina was in 2012 in Washington, D.C. when I was there for the International AIDS Conference. So great reconnecting, hanging out, spending time, getting caught up on what different friends of ours, Williams College alum, are up to now. And back safely. Never take that for granted. Trip from Bayonne to Maryland, Maryland back to Bayonne. So thanks again. Always thanks for your time, your curiosity, your interest, and spending a bit of time with me. I appreciate it. Everyone, do stay well and stay blessed.